got an angel. She doesn't wear any wings. She wears a heart that can melt my own. She wears a smile that can make me wanna sing.
Hello and welcome back to Sugar in the City. You know we are going around town finding love, and today I will interview Greg and Sarah Landsman about their love story. And Greg Landsman is the former executive director of Strive Partnership and is a candidate for Cincinnati City Council. His wife Sarah Landsman is the senior director of Landscrafters brand strategy and eye care marketing. And so I watched Greg Landsman when we worked together on Cincinnati Preschool Promise a few years ago. And when Greg talks about his wife or his children, it's like there's a sweet embrace and he just savors the family. And so I've always watched him and I love watching him love on his family. And so we finally connected and we're going to find out about their love. And so Sarah and Greg, I need to know how you find people came together. Let's start at the beginning. At the beginning. You've been married 9 years. It'll be 9 years in June.
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years.
I jump a year.
Yeah.
I just like to round up.
I'm going to remember that when it comes time for my gift.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. So tell us how you two met.
Sarah and I met we didn't actually meet. We were at the same event, and I saw her. She was behind me. The event, someone was speaking, and so I was, probably getting a little distracted, and I was looking around, and she was behind me.
I actually caught this movement out of the corner of my eye, and it was Greg pacing back and forth.
Okay.
So my attention was drawn to him.
Okay.
So anyways, I saw her. I was obviously, a very beautiful person and thought, I should go say something. Mm-hmm. By the time I mustered up the courage to go say something, she was gone.
Oh, no.
And so I talked to the person who sort of organized the event, and for a couple of months we went through the list and we got contact information and finally determined it was her.
Oh, you were looking for her.
Yeah.
And he who finds a wife finds a good thing. There's nothing like a man that looks for
That's
a
right.
woman. Oh my God, that's wonderful.
So I sent her an email and said, I know this is going to sound strange, but a couple of months ago, you and I were at the same event. Would you like to grab dinner or a drink? And
how cool is that?
I remember her writing back immediately and saying, yeah, absolutely, how's Thursday? But that's not how she remembers it.
But, at this point, I knew he was going to be contacting me. And, of course, I knew who he was because I had seen him at the same event. And then by the time he contacted me, I'd heard that he was going to be emailing me. Oh. So the joke has always been that I was sitting at my computer, quickly writing back, saying, yes, I would love to.
Oh,
I remember it happened very quickly. But and then we went on our first date, and the first date was
disaster.
It was a disaster.
It was a total
How
disaster.
was it? What happened?
I thought when she walked into the restaurant, we met at J. Alexander's, and I thought, because she's so pretty, I thought, she's either not going to be interested in me now that she's had some time to spend with me, or that she's kind of crazy. I've assumed it was one of the two things.
So you thought because she was so beautiful,
she's so beautiful, she's gonna sit down, she's gonna be like, all right, well, he's not my type, or she's.
And on the first date, you thought I was.
I thought she was a little crazy because we sat down.
What did you do, Sarah?
Well, I had a strategy at that point where I never loved dating.
Okay.
And so I didn't want to spend any more time than I absolutely needed to get to know someone. And so my strategy was to show the worst side of me.
Are you serious?
Which was unload all of my history and my dirt. And,
I like that.
And if they come back, then it just could only go uphill.
It was a lot.
I like that. Oh my
I
goodness.
I was so tired. I was laying
You
in
were
the
exhausted
booth
by the
like, and I tried to keep up with her at first,
Yes,
and like
that is
solidarity,
so
like I would lay out my
funny.
stuff too, and I just couldn't keep up. I
It's a
couldn't.
good strategy. I stand by it.
So what?
So we were walking out the restaurant, and the doors of J. Alexander, they're so heavy.
Yes.
You know that.
And I remember being like, I was so tired and trying to grab the door, like, I'm not sure I can get this door open. I'm so tired. And I did. And she said, as she was walking past me, she said, I'd like to do this again. Like that.
Really?
Like not in a, if you're interested, but in a, we're going to go on another date.
Are you
kinda way.
serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you assertive?
I can be when I want to be.
Okay.
So then, fast forward a couple of nights. The second date went very well.
It did.
Probably 10 minutes into the second date, I knew I was going to marry
Because
her.
it all went uphill after the
So
first
you
one.
like Greg because you initiated the second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
wait.
like-
Actually, I've never heard that. Why did you initiate the second date?
Because I don't think you seemed too put off by my strategy.
Oh, all right.
You kind of dug into it. You joined me a little bit.
I did try.
Yeah,
At first,
so-
I tried. I tried.
That is the funniest thing.
And I felt great by the end of it. I like
Did you
unloaded
really?
Yeah,
everything.
she walked out. I remember, I swear to you, grabbing that door, I was so exhausted. And she seemed totally fine. And she said, I'd like to do this again. And I was like, okay,
Okay, that's good. You win.
you win.
Oh, that is wonderful. So he is smitten by you. He's still smitten by you. Do you feel that?
On our good days, I
On
feel
your
it.
good days?
On our good days,
I mean,
feel
he's
it.
like, she's so beautiful, and he just always gives you compliments. Oh. Okay, so where do we go from the second? The second day, you said you knew you were going to marry her. You knew that?
I
You knew she was the
remember.
one?
I remember halfway through the date, or very very early on in the date. I remember thinking to myself, "I bet you I marry her." That's what I. And then I had either said to my father or a close friend or both. I just went on a second date with somebody, and I bet you I marry her.
You know what it is? So I didn't answer your question.
Okay.
Well, I think what it was for me, as much as it was uncomfortable, our first date, to me it felt like coming home. There was
It
something
did?
just, it felt like coming home.
That was nice.
Wow.
And I think at that point, at least I felt like I had a strong sense for who I wanted to be in a relationship.
Okay.
And I had a strong sense for who I didn't want to be in a relationship. And that's why, in part, I was willing to put it all out there.
Okay. Okay. So tell me, what is that thing that Sarah has that you're like, this is it?
For me,
What is that thing that she has? What was it? I know you were ready.
I really struggle with pretense. And Sarah has absolutely no pretense. What you see is what you get. And she is about as honest as any human being I've ever met. Which means that she's got a ton of integrity.
Yes.
She's also, look, that's not as warm as, those
Oh,
are
it's
really
so
important
honest.
things though, but she's also very kind and very, very smart.
Okay.
But I like what you said about the home piece. There was sort of this immediate sort of familiarity,
Okay.
and I don't know, just it was easy after that first date, which was very hard. It was just very easy. We were,
You connected
yeah,
at some point.
yeah.
And Sarah, what was it about Greg? What was that thing about Greg?
It was obvious to me from the very beginning that he was a good person. He was a good person. He wasn't someone always that said the right things or looked at me in the perfect way.
I want to know, do you all have any expectations for each other?
Yes.
What are your expectations?
They haven't changed, at least for me.
Do you expect Sarah to like have high heels on?
I'm sorry. No, they're
No, I'm just
these
playing.
are all like no, they're loyalty,
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a big one.
and honesty, and then expectations around just how we treat each other and our children and our friends, and that's probably it. I don't really have. I mean, there aren't like, laundry or
Okay.
No, or
housekeeping.
nothing.
Yeah, we've really let ourselves go. So.
We're going to talk about the love languages, and I want to know. I'm in your car here, Greg. I want to know if you two know each other's love language. So there's words of affirmation.
Right.
There's quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch.
Right.
And if you get it right, you can kiss each other.
Okay.
If you get it wrong, you can kiss each other. Okay. So Sarah, what is Greg's? Oh, you have to write it down.
Oh gosh, this is hard. And we just have one?
What is the primary? We have them all, and they become intertwined. But what is Greg's?
So I'm writing hers down.
You're writing yours. Okay.
All right.
So Sarah, you tell us what's Greg's.
I think his has to be words of affirmation.
Yes, 100%.
That's awesome. So you need
that
to
was
be
actually-
affirmed.
Not all the time, but that is my
That's great.
job.
And do you give him those words of
No,
affirmation?
not nearly as
No
often as I
way. Do you long for them?
Which makes it even more unlikely that I'll get them.
should. Which is, it's so true. And I totally
Like she'll come in, I think, with the best of intentions to say, something very nice,
Thank
and
you
then,
for taking the trash out. for
but
example.
I'll jump the gun and be like, "Hey, I took the trash out,"
And then I
Because
don't
you're
want to do
looking
it.
for it.
and then she's
I
just
don't
like,
want to do it.
I get it. So
I
Give her a
usually,
chance.
I know, I usually
yeah.
blow it.
We
But
are
then-
working on something.
And then I also, even if he said that, I should just get over my frustration and bite my tongue and say,
It's pretty
"Thank you so
annoying
much
though.
for doing it."
I
Sarah, you
mean,
seem pretty bossy.
I'm actually very proud of being bossy. I take that as
I
a
like
compliment.
bossy.
Thank you.
That's right. That's right.
I hope our
Okay.
daughter is bossy.
I know, right? We have to take control. Who run the world, girl?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right. So, Greg, what is Sarah's love language?
quality time.
That's awesome. You two know each other.
I struggled with that one a little bit.
Really?
I'm kind of surprised.
No.
Okay. Okay. So,
She likes when I am very present and she can talk about
Yeah.
her day and the book she's reading.
wonderful.
And there was even a time where we wanted to set expectations of each other, and we had to write down things we wanted from each other. And my very first thing was, when you walk in the door, greet me by name and ask me how my day was. And because it's just those little moments of quality time.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be an extended period of time. But
Exactly.
Just the moments.
Just
to
those
connect.
little things. And so the book says to keep your love tank full, that we need these.
We're working on these.
Yes.
We do. We check in on these things. In fact,
Okay.
we sort of updated our list a couple weeks ago with things that
So you're staying in touch.
yeah.
Did you all give advice to any couples of what it takes to sustain the relationships? Younger couples, what does it take? What would you say?
I mean, not that either one of us should be giving advice.
But you're making it work. What
Yeah.
does it take to make it work?
I have given people advice. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
actually
true.
think
I guess
you
I have too.
have to have a flawless
That's
marriage to give advice on what works. I think
Exactly.
I think we both know what works. Doing it is harder than knowing it, I think.
See, so
Um,
wise.
But so the advice I've given is being honest and being vulnerable with Greg and saying, I'm struggling a little bit here. I'm not
Yes.
getting something from you that I need. Can you give it?
Exactly.
So I've given that advice. I've heard you give advice about going to bed angry.
Oh yeah, I think it's entirely appropriate to go to bed angry. Like it's sometimes really good because most of the time you're just really tired, and if you go to bed, I don't. My experience has been you usually aren't angry anymore because you got a good night's sleep,
Yes.
and whatever it was probably pretty small.
Okay.
So
And
it's
that's definitely true for us because at nighttime I'm tired and sensitive.
Okay. Yes.
Come 8 o'clock.
It's hard for people to do because it's open and there's, you want closure on something, but I think it's okay to go to your neutral corners or turn off the light, go to bed.
I really like that. I like that you have given me a new outlook.
Yeah, get some sleep.
Go to bed.
It's go to bed angry.
Yeah, go to bed angry. Wake up refreshed. And if you're still
Marion
like
Spencer?
Yeah, of course.
I interviewed Marion Spencer, of course, without her husband, and she said that they wouldn't go to bed angry. But I like this outlook.
Okay, but he also played music for her and sang to her at night. So I mean, they're up here.
I know, right? Yes, Mrs. Marion Spencer said she told God that he could have kept him here for 5 more years.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I appreciate you all for letting us come into your home, into your space.
We loved having you.
And in the spirit of Michelle and Barack Obama, I asked Greg. Everyone's always farewell speech. So I said, Greg, in the spirit of Michelle and Obama, I want you to give Sarah a speech about what you feel for her.
I'll do it first.
Oh.
Go, Sarah.
Go.
Okay. Greg. I love you for the way you father our kids. Sorry. You're fantastic, Dad. You go.
So I love you for being a wonderful wife and an incredible parent. But I can't imagine having to make decisions and sort through life without you. You are just incredibly wise and kind and one of the most genuine human beings I've ever met.
Sweet.
This is how we're going to get through all of the politics in the world, all of the negativity. Love is what binds us together. So we all have a common cord, and that is love. And so I invite you all to grab a hold to someone and love on them, whether it's in an intimate relationship or not. So until next time, everyone, peace, love, and sugar. Yay!
That was awesome.
Change all of mine. We share the same soul. Oh, 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 oh. We share the same soul. Oh, oh.